the news update at noon on African Free Press Television. My name is Aris A. Farmer. 6 people, including 2 suspected suicide bombers, have died in 2 bomb explosions that occurred today in Damaturu, Yobe State capital. DSP Toyin Gbadegeshin, Yobe Police Command Public Relations Officer, confirming the incident, said 3 others were in critical condition, while 40 who sustained various degrees of injury have been taken to hospitals in the area. He said one of the explosions, carried out by a female suicide bomber of about 12 years of age, occurred at the entrance of the Damaturu main motor park, while the second explosion went off at about the same time at Pompomari when a suspected male suicide bomber, sensing he will be caught, ran into a nearby bush and the explosive went off, killing him alone. The federal government has directed Nigeria Immigration Service to recover immediately all valid diplomatic and official passports from persons not entitled to hold such documents. This is contained in a statement by Mr. Yusuf Isiaka, Director of Press, Federal Minister of Interior, yesterday in Abuja. According to the statement, the measure is intended to protect and promote Nigeria's integrity in the Committee of Nations, in addition to ensuring law and order. The newly constituted leadership of the National Youth Council of Nigeria has called on the ruling All Progressives Congress to caution its national youth leader, Mr. Ibrahim Dasuki Jallo, over its comments on the crisis rocking the council. Dasuki, who faltered the recent council election, has said there was no election as the APC has not endorsed anybody nor asked anybody to contest for any position. He further alerted that the Minister of Youth, who will be responsible for the conduct of the NYCN election, has not been appointed. West Africa General Manager of Supersport Felix Awugo has thrown his weight behind former Governor of Abia State, Dr. Orji Kalu's FIFA presidency ambition. Speaking with newsmen recently, Awugo said the world governing body needs a revolution following the corruption and bribery allegations that has rocked most of its executives. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said it will commence continuous voter registration in Kogi and Bayelsa states on September 2 through September 7 ahead of governorship elections in both states. According to the Commission's daily bulletin issued in Abuja, the exercise will take place at local government areas in the states from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. It states that the 5-day exercise would create an opportunity for 3 groups of eligible persons to be registered: those who were eligible but did not register before the 2015 general election, those who were registered but their names were not in the voter register, and those who have attained the age of 18 since the last registration exercise. Meanwhile, the Commission has urged election observers to continue to make meaningful observations and recommendations that would further strengthen the electoral process. Recent appointments into the boards of some federal government agencies, including those of the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, AMCON, and Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, by President Muhammadu Buhari, have come under criticism by some renowned lawyers who have described Buhari's actions as illegal and worrisome. The lawyers also noted that lack of stable organizational goals, unstable tenures, and political interference have been identified as factors that have contributed to the appointment of 17 group managing directors for the NNPC within its 38 years of existence. According to an announcement by the World Health Organization, there is a manhunt across Freetown to locate several high-risk Ebola contacts who have disappeared. WHO made this revelation last Friday while giving updates on the current situation of the Ebola outbreak for the week ending 21st August. Manhunt for suspects is not a new phenomenon in the fight against the Ebola virus, as runaway patients have caused the virus to spread across the country. According to the WHO representative in the country, Dr. Anders Nordstrom, the rapid response team established to track down and monitor chain of transmission have lost contact with the said high-risk suspects for about a week. Zimbabwean human rights activist Itai Dzamara's family has reportedly petitioned President Robert Mugabe demanding an order for his release. Dzamara, a father of 2, was abducted by 5 men who stormed a barber shop in Glenview, Harare on March 9. The former journalist has been staging protests in Harare's Africa Unity Square, calling on Mugabe to step down. According to reports, Dzamara's family threatened mass protests within a week if Mugabe ignored the petition. Mugabe's government insisted last week that it did not have answers regarding what happened to Dzamara, rejecting accusations that the authorities planned his disappearance. According to police reports, a record number of refugees have streamed into Hungary from Serbia, just days before Hungary completes a border fence. A total number of 2,093 likely asylum seekers, the highest ever daily total, crossed the border near the Hungarian town of Roske. They were part of around 7,000 refugees whose voyage to Europe had been blocked last week when Macedonia declared a state of emergency and closed its borders after being stunned by the huge entry of people as Europe experiences her worst refugee crisis since World War II. 8 people are missing and feared dead after a major landslide hit a road in remote eastern Indonesia. Heavy downpour in an isolated rocky region of Papua province triggered the landslide, burying 6 construction workers and 2 bystanders under rock and rubble. Landslides are common in Indonesia, one of the world's most natural disaster-prone nations. The National Disaster Agency estimates about half of the country's 250 million population live in areas prone to landslides. The National Disaster Agency estimates about half of the country's 250 million population live in areas prone to landslides. For more news, you can visit our website www.africanfreepress.com, follow at African Free Press on Twitter, and like African Free Press on Facebook. My name is Arit Efanga.